South Carolina may be one step closer to resuming executions of inmates on death row. Today, the House voted to approve a bill that would keep the names of companies that sell lethal injection drugs to South Carolina a secret. Our Jason Raven explains.
It's been more than a decade since the state of South Carolina executed an inmate on death row. Now, supporters of this shield law say this would help the state acquire lethal injection drugs. The Department of Corrections says the last batch of lethal injection drugs the state had on hand expired in 2013.
The Department of Corrections has been unable to carry out lawfully imposed sentences. The families of the victims cannot get closure because, notwithstanding the fact that a sentence of execution has been handed down, we are unable to carry that out.
S-120 would keep the name of the pharmaceutical company that supplies the lethal injection drugs private. Other states with these laws in place have been able to get the drugs. Most of Wednesday's debate on the House floor surrounded transparency.
And in our desire to expeditedly accomplish an objective that folks care about, we're willing to abandon all of the other ideals that so many of us folks campaign on.
Now, before passing the bill with a 75-21 vote, lawmakers amended the legislation to bar members of the General Assembly from benefiting from the shield law.
I want to make sure that none of us can profit from this shield law that we're about to pass, where the general public don't know what drug has been sent into this state and how much money has been spent. But what we will allow the citizens of South Carolina to know and feel comfortable with is that members of this General Assembly and their families and their entities will not profit.
Now, the Senate passed their version of the bill back in February with a bipartisan 39-5 vote. Now, if senators don't agree with the House's changes, the legislation will most likely head to a conference committee where senators and House members will work on a compromise bill. In Columbia, Jason Raven, 7 News.
There are currently 34 death row inmates in South Carolina's prison system.